Oberon the Goat. His command of the natural world support allies. Boon to his friends, bane of his foes. He is here to help, and it's apparently time to say goodbye. Hello my lovely beans. Today it is time to talk about Oberon. Bring some light on the goat himself. At TennoCon it got confirmed. Oberon will get a rework. In which form? We don't know. But to show you that he can already carry you and is a valid option, I show you today how to build him. You can use him as a health tank or as a shield gator for Void Cascade. But first things first, what can he do? Oberon's passive is kinda in a weird spot, but also makes him kinda good to use him with the mecha set. Allied pets receive 25% health, armor, and shield links. This is additive to link vitality, link redirection, and link fiber if you want to use it and build in that direction. In addition, your pet receives an insta revive permission. Oberon's first ability is called Smite and is also his Helmet ability. He smites an enemy he targets, dealing evenly impact and radiation damage, and guarantees a knockdown and radiation status effect. From the affected enemy will shoot out little projectiles over a fixed duration, dealing damage. The orb damage is affected by vigorous swap and counts towards weapon damage, and is for example affected by boosting ability like Eclipse from Mirage. The argument for this ability is called Smite Infusion. Hold to cast will grant all allies within 50 meters an additional 100% radiation damage to their attacks for 40 seconds. Hallowed Ground is Oberon's second ability and is, thanks to the rather new arcane universe of Fallout, your energy lifesaver. Hallowed Ground expands a field of radioactive grass in front of Oberon. Here you want to pay attention to two stats. You have on one hand the radius and on the other hand the angle how wide the grass around Oberon spreads, both based off ability range. While enemy stands on the grass, it deals radiation damage and applies radiation status. While you and your ally stands on the grass, sadly not jumping above it, you are immune to status effect. Up to 4 grass areas can exist at the same time, and if you cast the ability in the air, Oberon will drop to the floor. As a little hint, the color of the grass is affected by your energy color. Be nice to your teammates and yourself and don't blind yourself. Hallowed Eruption is the argument for this ability. Reactivate to deal all remaining damage and radiation status. 100% Hallowed Ground duration. Renewal is a third ability and it's a channeling ability. Here a little reminder that energy replenishing via Energy Nexus, Energy Siphon, or Dreamer's Bond or similar mods don't work. Also ability like Energy Vampire or Zinurix's Wellspring don't help. Oberon creates an area around him. When teammates enter this area, they will regenerate health every second. Affected allies of Renewal, even if they left the direct affected area, have a slower bleed out timer. The timer is kept at 90%. The drain of the ability is based on the amount of allies in your area of effect. What makes this ability so interesting is the argument Phoenix Renewal. Taking fatal damage while under the effects of Renewal will instead heal you and your allies to 50%. This effect triggers only once for each ally every 90 seconds. You don't have to be in the direct area of Renewal, you only have to have the buff active on you. Reckoning is Oberon's last ability. Oberon lifts enemy up in the air and slams them to the ground, dealing damage, both impact and radiation, while guaranteeing radiation status and knockdown. Keep in mind you can't CC any type of overguard. The armor strip of Oberon's 4 only works where enemies are on the area of effect of the second ability, Hallowed Ground. To fully armor strip you need 200% ability strength. Hallowed Reckonings gain 40% range, a 3 meter radius around each affected enemy, grants bonus armor to allies and deals 300 damage per second to enemies. But how to build Oberon? Since we do have the passive that works well with pads, I felt like it would be a good start to have him run the mecha set. So for the aura we're running Mecha Empowered, which gives us extra damage against the marked enemy. In addition to that, we're running Prime Continuity for duration, Adaptation for damage reduction, Prime Flow for our energy, Stretch for our range of the 2, Mecha Pulse give us the armor when killed the marked enemy, Health Conversion for more armor, Umbral Intensify for strength, and Phoenix Renewal for us and our teammates. For Arcanes, we're running Arcane Blessing for our base health and Arcane Universal Fallout for our better energy economy. I subsume Eclipse from Mirage over my 1 for more tankiness. For shards, I'm running minimum 1 if not 2 purple shards for equilibrium. Besides that, I would recommend at least 1 yellow shards for casting speed to make the usage of his 2 more comfortable. The rest is up to you. If you don't want to use equilibrium shards, either see if you're comfortable with dropping stretch and have base range, or use red shards for duration and use equilibrium instead. The second build is a different type of health tanking. We are playing around the synergy of Hunter's Adrenaline and Quick Thinking. Quick thinking drains energy to stop lethal damage if ever comes to that point, and Hunter Adrenaline converts 45% of damage on health to energy. To replenish the energy quick thinking just drained. In addition to that, we're using growing power. You can use corrosive projection or Warframe camaraderie, or whichever you like. Prime continuity for duration, prime flow for the energy, stretch for range, health conversion for armor, adaptation for resistance. If you're counting with adaptation, always assume you only have around 50% of damage reduction towards something, since it's hard to gain the full stacks. And once again, Phoenix Renewal for us and our teammates if we mess up. For Subsume, once again, we're running Eclipse over the One and the same shards. For Arcanes, once again, we're running Arcane Blessing and Arcane Universal Fallout. If you want to play around Hallowed Reckoning, this is the build for you. For this argument, you definitely want a bit more range. Hallowed Reckoning gains 40% range. A 3-meter radius around each affected enemy grants bonus armor to allies and deals 300 damage per second to enemies. We use Corrosive Projection as an aura mod, Prime Continuity for the duration, Adaptation for the damage reduction, Prime Flow for the energy economy, Stretch and Overextended for the extra range, and Transit Fortitude to balance out the strengths from Overextended. Don't worry about the negative strengths, since we still have nearly 15% status chance of the two to trigger Fallout. And our Subsume with Eclipse is always at max damage reduction. For Arcanes, we're running Arcane Blessing and Arcane Universal Fallout. In general, for health tank setups, I would suggest any pet that can run Hunter Recovery. Warframe Healed for 30% companion damage dealt, simply because it gives you the extra bit of health regen if needed. For the Void Cascade level cap build, we're running Warframe Camaraderie as an aura. Once again, feel free to swap that out with what you see fit. We have Prime Continuity for duration, Catalyzing Shield with fast deflection and Vigilant Vigor for shield recharge, Stretch for range, Prime Flow for energy economy, Rolling Guard for the oopsies, and Phoenix Renewal for the bigger mess-ups. For Arcanes, we're running Arcane Universal Fallout, and for the second one, Arcane Precision. Here you can swap that out for either the type of weapon you're using or Mold Argument for more strength. For shards, I'm running 2 purple shards for equilibrium, 1 yellow casting speed, and 1 yellow parkour velocity. In addition, I'm running 1 tau green shard for corrosive stacks. I subsume Omamoru over the One. What could be the possible changes to Oberon? Let's have a look. Oberon's passive is interesting, but not up to date anymore. That 1 revive for our own pet is simply not enough. We have so many mods that can reduce the revive timer. For example, we have Regen, Restorative Bond, or Tenacious Bond. Instead, we could give our pet, in addition to the health and shield, a damage boost, or simply applying an internal regen. For Hallowed Ground, the biggest issue I see is the low status chance and the amount of strength you need to have it 100% triggered. There's obvious the question if you need 100% status chance, but at least make it start at 50%. Universal Fallout is such a good arcane on him. For Renewal, the biggest issue is the drain. You start with a base drain of 2, with each additional ally you have an extra drain of 3, with each extra companion you have an extra drain of 1, and let me tell you, if someone runs a Necros in your team, each shadow counts. So the drain is going even higher, there is no cap. The cost can go insane. Now imagine we're trolling a bit and there's an Oberon with 3 Necros. He will be sucked dry. There need to be a cap for the drainage. You should not be punished for running in a full team and try to heal your teammates. With Reckoning, my biggest issue is that the armor strip only works on the area of effect of the 2. That together with the long casting speed makes it really annoying, and then also a really expensive armor strip. It costs at base level 100 energy to cast, but you need 200% strength to full armor strip in one go, or you have to double cast. Oberon definitely needs a tweak, and while I do enjoy playing him, I'm ready to see where we go. What's your opinion? Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you on Twitch.